The number of manhwas is getting bigger as it becomes more popular nowadays. There are literally tens of thousands of manhwas, and it is easy for some of the good and promising manhwas to be overshadowed by others. Therefore, searching for a good manhwa that is not mainstream or popular can be very tricky and time-consuming. Therefore, to skip the time-consuming part, I have listed some of the manhwas I find to be good, but are not that popular. 10. All-rounder. This is a setting of an apocalypse, a world full of zombies. Mental care, wooden construction, heavenly magic, animal communication, mechanical engineering, performance, etc. There is so much to learn. The sprint of the prepared survivor, who is good at everything, begins. This is a good manhwa with an interesting concept. The main character has recurring nightmares about zombies, and then one day those nightmares become real. However, unlike in his dream, he is able to put his skills to use. Although as the story progresses, the story becomes predictable. However, it is still enjoyable and definitely a good read. 9. Street Restaurant of a Returned Hero. Was an ordinary cook before being abducted and forced to fight off a demon invasion in another realm. Years later, he returns to his world, only to find it swarming with monsters. To make matters worse, he discovers that his mother and Earth's guardian god are dying. In order to save them in the world, the MC offers to serve the god with revitalizing meals in return for healing his mother. This story is quite unique as the main character aims to be a hero and a cook. The story has a decent pace and flow. Personally, I think what the manhwa lacks is how to make the story and characters more impactful, especially in pivotal moments of the story. Still, a good manhwa to read, and would still recommend this one. 8. Transcension Academy. The main character, who had been working to save in order to pay off his dead parents' debt and to attend a hunter academy, ended up needing to spend all his savings for surgery due to an unfortunate accident. In his moment of despair, a weird ad played. The message says you can now also become an awakener. He then decided to register and start his journey. The plot is based on the popular Awakener, Monster, Hunter, and Dungeon manhwa genres. Although the theme is not new, a twist was added to make it unique and interesting. For instance, what is common for these types of manhwa is that the MC is trained by gods and other mythical beings. For this manhwa, however, he learns from legendary and significant people. 7. Esjo. Esjo is just an ordinary farmer's son, but with an extraordinary ability. He can read the thoughts and memories of humans and animals. For this, he is shunned by the people in his village, finding happiness only in his animal friends. After years of silently enduring the villagers' hostility, Esjo runs away the night he turns 19. His journey brings unexpected friendships and encounters. The story is quite unique in how it captures the reader's attention. It is full of emotion-packed moments and fully portrays the vibe it is trying to set. In addition, I find the main character's attitude to be well suited to the story's vibe. I highly recommend this one. 6. A Grand Cross Story. The main character was a Taoist priest who once turned Joseon upside down. Since then, 500 years have passed, and he is now in the era of social media. He lives by attracting people's attention through internet broadcasting and social media. However, one day, Jinny, the daughter of the family whose grandfather he helped in the past, comes with a mysterious scroll that belongs to Jian Wuqi's object to ask for help. However, an unidentified monster targeting the scroll attacks Jian Wuqi. With the advent of an unidentified monster, numerous events begin to take place around Jian Wuqi. The plot is quite easygoing and definitely has a lot of promise. Early chapters are really enjoyable, and I think this manhwa will have a great run if done really well. However, it is still early as there are only a few chapters being released. 5. Noryangjin Raid Team. The MC, who failed his college entrance exam because of a game, one day, He wakes up at his studio apartment and prays. If the game was real, and then the games that he plays really come true. The world that was filled with dreams and hopes suddenly became a hell, and the only thing he could do is play the game. This manhwa is also new and is definitely promising. The story is interesting so far, and the art style is really good. Definitely gonna keep an eye out for this one. 4. World's Greatest Senior Disciple. A senior disciple from a countryside martial academy returns as the world's best. Dragged into a brutal political war, the senior disciple didn't return after the bloody war ended. No one knew whether he was still alive for 5 years. Upon barely returning to his hometown, he found his Dragon Tiger Martial Academy being persecuted and destroyed by a third-rate gang. He thought he could live peacefully with his fellow members after winning the war. But seeing the miserable state of his master and fellow disciples, he was filled with anger and guilt. With the return of the senior disciple, everyone thought things would get better, but only for a moment. Things were still happening in his hometown of Yangzhou County. Was the war really over? The head disciple raises his sword against the dangers threatening his Dragon Tiger Martial Academy. As with the other manhwa, this one is brand new and looks quite promising. The main character is likable, and the story is fun and enjoyable so far. Could really be a hidden gem in the new batch of manhwas. 3. Stuck in the Tower. A world where gates open and monsters come out to play. The main character longs to enter the tower and take on the role of a hunter, but in reality, he works as a porter and meat shield of E-class hunters, who are worse than gangsters. Moreover, he was taken advantage by these hunters to the point where he was about to die. As soon as he thought that he was dead, he was summoned to the tower, was revived back from the dead, and began climbing up the tower to become the hunter that he had been longing to be. Depending on how much coins one has, the tower offers one the chance to challenge it. The plot for this manhwa is definitely interesting and has proven to be popular. The main character starts out weak and gets revived with privileges. The story is paced really well and is actually fun to read. I would definitely recommend this one. 2. Monsters. Monsters that existed only in fairy tales appear in the middle of a city in the 21st century. Break down buildings and harm humans. A group of humans with extraordinary abilities against them. The story of Nero, an outcast boy who fights against monsters. This manhwa is quite good as it is satisfying how an outcast becomes strong and makes a difference in society. The main character was also bullied and really weak at first and becomes strong. Although this plot is overly used, there are still elements that makes it unique than others. 1. Deepwater. Over a century ago, a comet struck the Earth, causing the sea level to rise and engulf the continents one by one. What's left of mankind now lives aboard ships that float the endless ocean, and beneath the surface, bloodthirsty giant sea creatures lurk, waiting to devour the flesh of divers that breach the surface. Boda and Lita are two young siblings that live aboard a scavenger vessel with their father, who tells the pair about legendary harpoonists who protected humanity from the monsters. And when tragedy strikes, one such harpoonist, Kana, takes them under her wing, but nothing can prepare Boda and Lita for the horrors that are to come. The plot is original, interesting, and plausible, and the way it was written makes the events feel like they are real. The story makes you immerse and focus. Definitely written well as you won't know what's coming next. Reading this manhwa made me really hype and want to read more. In addition, the characters are built and structured really well. I definitely recommend this masterpiece. Have you read any of these manhwas? Let us know in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching and I hope this video helps.